What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is why the Night's King is after Baby Sam, or as he's better known in the books, Monster. Now, if you watch and like this video, if you can, please subscribe and help us try to reach that 100,000 subscriber dream. And thumbs up this video so others can also help us reach that dream. What's the deal, my people? Now, recently, we have heard a lot of chatter about Gilly's son, Baby Sam. Or in the books, because we know he doesn't have a name yet, they call him Monster. But there's a lot of stuff going on about this kid, and I'm going to try to explain it to you. Because there's got to be a reason why he is the only child who was not aged at all after all these years. Now, we have seen everybody grow up and seen how big they got. They can't even have Bran being carried by a Hodor. He's too damn big. But this little ass baby, the only thing that's grown on him is the size of his head. Yes, we all know that he's a cute baby, and some cute babies have big heads. There's nothing wrong with that, and this one just happens to. But I'm going to try to explain to you exactly what is going on here with this baby and the importance of this baby. Now, what I believe is that this baby is the White Walker's Azor Ahai. And I think if you take the prophecy of Azor Ahai and put it on Sam, well, not Sam, Gilly's son, Monster, or should we just say Baby Sam, we can see exactly how it fits and how this baby is exactly the White Walker's Azor Ahai. The White Walker's, the guy who's going to lead the White Walkers to victory. That's the way I see it, and I'm going to explain that to you right now in this video. Now, in order to have a great series, the one thing you must do is pay things off that you bring up. You cannot have plot holes, especially gaping plot holes. Now, we see one that was brought up but not paid off yet when Sam and Gilly run into the White Walker.
It's come for the baby.
Now, I know what most of us remember from this scene is Sam killing the White Walker, and that's what they want you to remember. But in reality, the most important part of this scene is what Gilly just said.
It's come for the baby.
They want the baby, this baby. So what makes this baby so special? First, let's go to the bloodline, because you know we have to have a special bloodline in order for Azor Ahai to exist. And this bloodline must be a Targaryen bloodline. So how is it possible that Gilly and Craster, since Craster is the father of this child, have Targaryen blood? How is this possible? Well, all we have to do is look towards Craster. Now, we know that Craster's mother is a wildling from White Tree, and his father was a member of the Night's Watch. Now, we know that there were two Targaryens at the Night's Watch at this time. Brynden Rivers, who was Blood Raven, and Maester Aemon. Now, the reason why it could not be Maester Aemon is because Craster's father is said to have been a ranger. And we know that Maester Aemon is a maester. So the only one who fits the bill and who would most likely be a ranger when he joined the Night's Watch is Blood Raven. And if we look at the timeline from when Blood Raven and Maester Aemon made their way to the war, it is very feasible to see how Blood Raven is most likely Craster's father. Also, we get a big hint of this in the books when we see Cold Hands go out there and kill the mutineers. Now, in the show, we see Jon Snow go out there and kill the mutineers, but this is just to give Jon Snow or Kit Harington more of a hero moment. In the books, it's Cold Hands who goes out there and kills the mutineers. Now, most people believe that Cold Hands is under control of the Three-Eye Raven, who is Brynden Rivers. So why would Brynden Rivers want to kill or avenge the death of the person who was making babies for the White Walkers, unless it was personal? Now, we hear from this chapter, Bran chapter, how it became personal for him.
The ranger killed a pig. Cold Hands stood beside the door, a raven on his arm. both staring at the fire. Reflections from the flames glittered off 4 black eyes. He does not eat, Bran remembered, and he fears the flames. You said no fire, he reminded the ranger. The walls around us hide the light, and dawn is close. We will be on our way soon. What happened to the men, the foes behind us? They will not trouble you. Who were they? Wildlings? Mira turned the meat to cook the other side. Hodor was chewing and swallowing, muttering happily under his breath. Only Jojen seemed aware of what was happening as Cold Hands turned his head to stare at Bran. They were foes. Men of the Night's Watch. You killed them. You and the ravens. Their faces were all torn, and their eyes were gone. Cold Hands did not deny it. They were your brothers. I saw. The wolves had ripped their clothes up, but I could still tell. Their clothes were black, like your hands.
Because as we seen in that chapter, we see the ravens that were biting and clawing and pecking the eyes of the mutineers, getting involved themselves. So why would he get involved himself unless it was personal, unless he was avenging the death of his son? And if we look at the description of Melissa Blackwood, who is Bloodraven's mother, slim figure, dark hair, big brown eyes, it's the same exact description that we get from hearing Gilly's description. Dark hair, big brown doe eyes, retains a slim figure. Same exact one. So that would give them the bloodline. But wait, there's more. When we look at Gilly's name itself, it also gives us further proof of what the bloodline is for Gilly.
For the Gilly flower.
And it just so happens that another name for the Gilly flower is Mother of Evening. And it also just so happens that the color of this flower just happens to be purple. Now, aren't the Targaryens known for purple for some strange reason? She also happens to be the 19th wife, and her son happens to be the 99th born. Now, beside the bloodline, we know there are 2 more things that Azor Ahai must do in order to be reborn. He must be born amidst the red bleeding star, and it must be amidst salt and smoke. So we're looking for a red bleeding star and salt and smoke. Now, let's look at the situation when baby Sam was born. And remember that he was born right after the Night's Watch fought the White Walkers at the Fist of the First Men. That is when he was born, right then.
They burned the ranger's corpse at sunset in the fire that Gren had been feeding earlier that day.
So a sun setting would be a red sun, which would be considered a bleeding star. And we also have a bunch of references of smoke and salt in this chapter as soon as Gilly is giving birth.
For all the heat and smoke in Craster's hall, Sam felt cold himself. I'm tired, so tired. He needed sleep, but whenever he closed his eyes, he dreamed of blowing snow and dead men shambling toward him with black hands and bright blue eyes. Up in the loft, Gilly let out a shuddering sob that echoed down the long, low, windowless hall.
Real quick, just to let you know, Con of Thrones, it's on again. The Don has been selected to get on the panel. And if you can, please help the Don get to the con by supporting me on my GoFundMe page. Get the Don to the con. Peace and stay sexy. Cheer! So there you have it. The bloodline, the bleeding star, the salt and smoke, all that points to Little Monster, Little Sam, being the White Walkers of Azor Ahai. Now in book, and this is definitely just dealing with the books, we have not seen the Night's King yet. And it's a good possibility that the Night's King in the books could be this baby. It all would add up if that's the way they wanted to go in the books. And maybe they said, you know, we're not going to go that route for show purposes. It's not that dramatic. Let's try something else. And they're going, and they have the Night's King having a different origin. This version of the Night's King. So you tell me in the comments what you think. And thank you to all of my supporters, especially my Patreons who have stuck with me all this time. I love you, and I promise you I got more special things coming to you. I'm working that out. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his head.
What?
I said no more shines. Maybe you didn't hear about it. You've been away a long time. They didn't go up. They didn't tell you. I don't shine shoes anymore.
Relax, will you, for crying out? What's getting to you? I'm breaking your balls a little bit, that's all. I'm only kidding with you.
Sometimes you don't sound like you're kidding. You know, there's a lot of people around.
So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
I got 2 grenades in my house. I blow up all Mulberry Street before I get there. You understand? I don't know what I would do. There's something wrong. You understand? I die with you.